Our people had art, we had culture, we had song and dance. We had a lot of things for thousands of years before anyone even existed. I just find our history and culture deep, and we only understand probably 1% of it, and that's what sort of frustrates me a bit with that as well. I'd love to know more of it. I've only got a bit of it, you know, like I can just give you bits and pieces. It's just like a glimpse. My name's Rodney Dillon. We're on Bruny Island in Trumpeter Bay. This place is pretty significant. This is Truganini's land that we're on. When I think about her, you know, people think of their heroes, and she's one of my heroes. Like one day, you know, people start calling you an elder, and the next day there's a few more do it, and after a while there's a few more doing it, and then in the finish there's a lot of people doing it. So, you know, I never put my hand up to be an elder. I think of my older brother and older sisters as being the elders, and yet other people look at you as an elder, and it's an interesting thing. I've tried to do the best I could in my life for my people. For most of my life, people thought what I was doing was wrong, and they was treating me like a criminal for it. And then all of a sudden, everyone thought it was really good what I was doing, and so it's recognition of some of the things that you've probably took on as challenges. I think they're important. Getting this land back, I can really say that this land we're on here today will always be Aboriginal land. It'll never be anyone else's land, and it's a fairly significant thing in your life to be able to sit on the land that is going to belong to your people for, you know, another couple of thousand generations. Also, teaching history, talking about where we've come from to where we are today, and where we're going tomorrow. You know, they're things that about being an elder, but just having a group of school kids, and you know, they're calling you uncle or something like that. It's a good feeling, and I haven't always had that relationship. I went for a lot of my life and wouldn't tell anyone about what I knew. I changed my behaviour, thinking that I've got all this that I've got to give to someone, and I haven't got that much long to give it to them. Perhaps I should have been giving it to people earlier, what I have. My view is now to give as much of the culture to kids as I can. So that's part of what I do today, I suppose. You know, we're trying to teach kids, you know, how to be respectful to their elders. You know, that their elders, you know, hold a fair bit of knowledge, and that's been passed down, and I probably didn't take that much notice of it as a young boy either. You know, I'm guilty of what the kids are doing today. You know, so I'm not going to be hypocritical about it, but I'm going to try and make people understand, look, these people, you need to get all this knowledge out of these people before they pass. A lot of things come down from our elders, that understanding of who we are, and thinking of what our elders have gone through in the last 5 or 6 generations. You know, they've gone through a lot with no recognition. There's not 1 ounce of recognition in this state about our elders. We're invisible. Our people before us are invisible, and yet they went through so much pain. These are the people that defended this country. These are the people that were shot for their blood was spilled on this land so you could have it. Let's talk the truth. They was murdered for their land. Let's talk about how we come together, and how do we digest that, and as a group of people. I think it's a really important question, and as an elder, I think we're still dancing around it a lot. There's steps, I think, as an elder, that's a responsibility that's handed down from them old people, I think, for us to make sure that they're recognised. And handing down things from your elders, understanding weather patterns and how that relates to what sustainability means from your elders. And our people have been sustainable for 40 or 50 or 60,000 years, give or take. So just understanding that, reading the shore and reading the animals is really important. We don't relate too much these days, I don't think, to animals. We relate more to mobile phones and laptops. And I think if we can get back to trying to show kids that, I think the kids are interested enough in it. You just learn things, you pick up things, and Jesus, this is what our old people are talking about, you know. When someone tells you something the first time, you think, oh, is that true? You know, 50 years later, oh, geez, this is true. This is how it works. It takes a little while sometimes to do things and understand things. when I was growing up, like it wasn't very popular to be Aboriginal or even to talk about being Aboriginal. It was a challenge in your life. It's been a challenge in my life, all my life. This morning, this bloke using the word Abo, that abbreviation of, and that nastiness of that behaviour must stop in this place now. I hope that the younger generation can build a stance that we can talk about the importance of 50,000 or 60,000 years of history and culture in this land that we can all be proud of, rather than making it invisible. We can be really proud when we're on this land. But if you go to the town hall or in the government house, you have a look at all them old white fellas up on the wall, them red-nosed men. They was organising to shoot my people, and they're up on the wall as the best and fairest in the parliament. But no history of us. We haven't got that history, and we're too frightened as a country to produce that history. They can poke all these fish farms out here, no consultation with us. Like, we need to be part of the management of these things, and we're not. They're the things that I want to see done in my lifetime as well. Having a say. Every organisation, we're not in it. We're not there making decisions. They're making decisions without us. It's not only about our ancestors being invisible, we're still pretty invisible as well as far as any management goes. When you've got 2,500 generations of ancestors, underneath and above you and around you, you've got a lot of responsibility to do things right. I think that's a bit about what I do, I suppose, who I am and what I represent. Probably told you too much now.